I'm ready to hear about Jennie H.
Hello. Hello to everyone. I admire Steve's tenacity in keeping in touch with us all. He finally managed to pin me down in my hilltop village in France, where we have our permanent home. For well over 20 years, I've been a professional art restorer, a picture, a painting restorer, and I've had a home-based studio. I have a wonderful husband who's called Don, and I have two daughters. Marie, who's 22, is just married, and Ren, who's 20, and both are living and studying in France. For the last 7 years, my husband and I have been involved with charity work, helping orphans and widows, mainly in Africa. As you all know, AIDS has ravaged these communities, and as a result, the reality is that there is an orphan generation coming forth with all the associated tragedy and complications. We founded a charity called New Dawn Association, which is an international humanitarian non-profit-making association, initially working in sub-Saharan Africa. Inspired by the gospel, New Dawn Association's aim is to help the most needy, and more specifically, orphans and widows, without race, social or religious discrimination. So during the last 5 years, we've been specifically involved in helping a project called the Arise and Shine Kagoni Community Project, which is based on a hill rise just outside Kisumu, which is the third largest town in Kenya, on Lake Victoria. And at least once a year, we spend time working with the project in Africa. We returned to France at the end of February this year from a 3-month working trip, including Christmas. It was our second trip in the last 12 months to the project, working alongside Nancy and Jonas, the Kenyan leaders of the project. The number of the resident orphans in the project at the moment is 24, and there's also a morning nursery school run for 25 children born from the orphanage and the community. But the heart of the Arise and Shine project also reaches far out to help the very needy local bush community. There are 12 widows empowerment groups now which have been started. Products were given to each group, enabling them to start mini businesses. And this has been a very successful program, and it is well running now. There's a Desperate Widows group made up of 20 particularly desperate women chosen by the community, and this also continues to run well. Each receives a monthly food pack and a home visit. The project ran its second medical camp in February 2009, and 440 women and children received free medical attention and treatment. They also received aid, counselling and screening from our mobile AIDS testing unit, which we managed to have brought up onto the orphanage site. And 5 of our desperate widows had operations for cataracts during a successful eye camp, which was also run on the site of the orphanage. 500 people came to have free diagnosis and treatment. And so we're very, very pleased about that. Our association is committed to raising the annual running costs for this project, which include at the moment all the needs of the orphanage and Desperate Widows program. And just to give you a rough idea concerning the cost of items, for example, $50, we would be able to buy 12 mosquito nets, or we could buy 6 monthly food packs for the Desperate Widows group, or maybe 5 to 6 new mattresses. For $25, someone can receive hospital visits with an X-ray treatment, for example, the setting of a broken bone, and they can receive the full treatment of that for the amount of $25. Of course, any financial help that we could receive would be most appreciated, and also still much needs to be done to reach the standards demanded by the authorities. For example, increased water supply, electricity, a boys' dormitory, and improved toilet washing facilities for boys and girls remain priorities. And also, finally, a hospice, a home for 6 to 8 beds for very desperate and lonely, terminally sick widows is another goal for this project, so that these people can be cared for in their last days and allowed to die with dignity in a loving environment. Part of the orphanage site has already been earmarked for this special purpose, and the building of this would probably cost up to about $10,000. And I just close by saying a phrase which I mentioned to Steve the other day: with a little, so much can be done. And I just want to thank Steve for this opportunity to share with all of you.
Thank you, Jennie.